Kim. Just getting myself organized here. It's been a bit of a hectic day. A good day, but a hectic day. It's yeah. So I'm Casey Christensen. I'm coming to you live from West Kelowna, BC, where we have had a total mixed bag of weather today. It was torrential downpour. It was little sprinklings with sun. It was miserable, heavy cloud, and at the moment it's kind of nice and sunny. It's quite nice actually. So today I thought we'd have some fun with the cup of tea, and because it's called cup of tea, I was thinking, why not make a tea gift card? So I made this cute little card here, and I'm going to show you how to do this. This is using a very basic do-it-yourself little envelope, which you might like to use in all kinds of different things. And once you've learned how to make one, you can make it in so many different sizes, different shapes, and all that kind of stuff. So this is the card that we're going to play with today. And inside, I just did a little light stamping of one of the stamps that's in the cup of tea bundle here. So let's get started. This card opens this way, but I decided for the card that I'm going to do with you, we're going to have it open the other way. So this is just your basic. Is there a Jessica in here? Who are you talking about, Kim? Jessica Cardozo? Have you seen this card? I did see it somewhere on Pinterest, but to be honest, I didn't see the card. I saw the envelope. I learned how to make... Oh, okay. Okay, no worries. Okay. All right, so this card's going to be opening this way. And so what I've done is I've just cut your half card sheet of cardstock. And so it's this time it's 4.25 inches wide by 11 inches long, and then scored at 5.5. Okay. So we're going to work with some cup of tea DSP. So I thought something bright and cheery that goes good with this paper. This is the new paper called, you know, I'm supposed to know all these colors right now, and I just don't. It's called Orchid Oasis. This is Orchid Oasis, which is a new in color. And so I'm using two kinds of paper today. I'm using the paper that from the cup of tea bundle. So, or from the cup of tea set. This is called Tea Boutique, and it comes in 6 by 6 inch sheets, and you get a whole bunch of them in there. I'm also using the In Color, the new In Color Designer Series paper, which also comes in 6 by 6 sheets. And I like the convenience of 6 by 6 sheets. It's easy to store. It's easy to just grab it and go, right? So this polka dot piece here is going to be for our envelope. So let's start with our card base, and I'm going to cut that with just a little bit of show on the outside. I do want some show because I do like my card stock that I'm using, so I want a little bit of show. So let's cut this at 4 1/8. Now you want to keep in mind of your up and down, okay? This is the directional paper, and my card is in this direction. So I'm going to cut 4 1/8. Is that right? Yeah. 4 1/8. That's 2 notches under a quarter for anyone who's paying attention to the way I do it. It's 2 notches under a quarter. And then this one, I'm going to cut at 5 3/8, which is 2 notches under a half. See all these little pieces I'm collecting? I've got lots of little pieces going on with this. Tune in tomorrow because we're going to have a scrappy day. I love the blues too. Tomorrow I'm going to show you how to do some really neat cards using bits, because you know I have tons and tons and tons of bits left over from things, and so we're going to play with that tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So for now I'm just going to stick my second layer down. There we go. And let's just stick that down as neatly and tidily as we can. There we go. So we can set that aside for the moment. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create our own little envelope. Now I've experimented with all kinds of sizes for this, but the size, I wanted this size where the tea bag is not sloppy inside the envelope. I wanted the envelope to be, I want it to be kind of a snug fit with the tea bag so that it's not rolling around in there. So for that, I ended up with a 4 1/4 inch square. 7 o'clock Tuesday, hon. 7 o'clock. So these envelopes that I'm going to show you how to make, they are always made with a square. And frankly, if you can fold it, you can make it. So you can use whatever size square you want to. I'm using 4 1/4 because I want the square to be, I want the envelope to be snug around my tea bag. So I'm going to go with 4 1/4. More little bits, lots of little bits left over. 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And these are so fun to make. They're just fun. They're just really fun. And I saw this on Pinterest as an envelope with a tea bag in it, but I thought an envelope with a tea bag in it doesn't do a lot of good for me. So how about a card with an envelope with a tea bag in it on top of the card? So next you're going to need your pencil and a ruler. And so you're just going to take your 4 1/4 inch square that I cut there and line up your ruler. Corner to corner and draw a line, not all the way across. You just need the line to be in the middle. Okay, so I've just drawn a line sort of like between there and there, not too much. Turn it the other way and do the same thing. Just give yourself a line. So now you're going to have a little cross in the middle of your 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch square here. Okay. So now you're simply going to put it in front of you like a diamond shape. You're going to take your lower edge. You're going to fold it up to the drawn line, and you're just going to fold like so. Okay. That's what those lines are for. It's for you to be able to have somewhere to line up. Flip it to the opposite side and repeat. Just do the same thing again. Okay? So your next side, you're actually going to fold it up about just over 1/4 inch from the bottom. It's not an exact measurement, but you want to fold it up a little bit from the bottom, and I'll show you what I mean. Remember to line this point up with your drawn line. Now, if you can see this, it's folded up from the bottom with a little bit of extra fold here, okay? So it's not just, because if you just fold this up to the inside, you're not going to have a closed envelope. So you just want that, and that might be, you know, a tad over, maybe it's closer to a 1/2 inch that I folded it up here. Can you see that? That's your fold line there. So maybe it's closer to a 1/2 inch that I folded it up. Okay. I don't know if you can see that better like that. You got it, Kim? Okay. So you're going to fold that up, and then I'm going to go in here with my good eraser. I still haven't found myself a bigger one, and just erase the top portion of my pencil line. The rest doesn't matter, you'll never see it, but I'm just going to erase the top portion of my pencil line, okay? So there I've got this cute little envelope. Now, Stampin' Up! Used to have this punch that would take this point and round it off, and they don't have it anymore. It's not available. And so I think it's okay that I show you this. This is called a crocodile. It's a big, cumbersome, expensive tool. I bought it long before I became a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. But you can just pop your corner into it and cut it off and give yourself a nice little rounded edge. I'm not actually going to suggest that you run out and get one. They are kind of pricey for such a little job that they do. There's no reason that you couldn't just take your scissors and round that edge a little bit. Okay? All right, so that's the first portion of my envelope. Now, I want to glue this down, but I want to make sure that the glue doesn't exceed this top flap. Okay? because if it does, you're going to be gluing your envelope closed, and we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put a little bit here and a little bit here, not going up to the top at all. And just give that a little minute to settle down. Okay, how cute is that, right? So the next thing you're going to go in and do, and I do it on my scoring board, or my trimmer, you want to go in and you want to line up, we want this nice crease here, and the only way I can find myself getting a really nice crease is if I do it with here. If I just fold it over by hand, it doesn't look as nice. Now this crease does not fold down any of this extra paper. The crease is strictly going to start right at the tip of your envelope there, okay? So just line that up as best as you can and just give it a, and that way it just has a nice little, and we're not actually going to close the envelope at any point, but it's nice that it pops up a bit from the paper, okay? And you can round that point off if you want to with your scissors. I'm not going to. I rather like it the way it is. So you can see now with this cute little envelope, I've got a perfect fit for my Earl Grey tea. And then the top of the envelope pops over the top of that. Okay? So I'm quite pleased with that. I rather like it. So now, I think I'm gonna stick my envelope down because I can work on top of the envelope. I want to know where it is, and basically what I'm doing is I'm sort of centering the envelope, so that I'm centering it on an angle, and I'm centering it so that the distance between the bottom of the lowest point of the envelope and the top point of the envelope are semi-even, okay? Just semi-even. We're not going to glue down this top part. We're going to let it be flippy-floppy, but we're just going to glue down our envelope. And how cute is that as an envelope? I mean, to put anything in, you know? It's just a cute little envelope. I just think it's adorable. And the fact that you can make it any size you want is even more adorable for me anyways. I made little teeny tiny, I was just playing with making them. So I'm just going to place that where I think is about right for me. And I think that works. I'll just stick down. Hi Lori, oh my goodness. Lori, how are you? What's the math for what, honey? Kimmy, the math? The square for the envelope is a 4 1/4 inch square. It's whatever size you want it to be. I made several envelopes before I made the decision that this was the right size for my tea bag. Kim, you're asking what is the math for that? I'm not quite sure what you're wanting. There is no math for laying the envelope down. You did finally catch a live. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I kind of miss you. I don't miss a lot about the lower mainland these days. I'm really loving it up here, but there's people I miss, and you're one of them. Okay, Kim, thanks. So we're just doing a little. This is what we're doing, Lori. We're doing a cute little gift card And what I do with these, I send all of my nieces every birthday. I send them either a coffee card or something like that. And so I have some tea drinkers in the family. So I'm going to send them a tea card, but I'm also going to put a tea card like this, but I'm also going to put a gift card for maybe like Tim's, because I love Tim's steep tea. I love Tim's steep tea. It's so good. So we're just making this card. We're making it slightly different than that one. Otherwise it would be boring. And we're working with a couple of stamp sets. So now that we have our basic concept down, it's time for us to decide what we're going to do in terms of decorating this. Now I know I want to have these 2 green leaves that I had on the other one. I'll leave them there. I really love these green leaves. And this paper is the 2-sided paper 6x6 DSP of the In Color papers. Really, really great paper. I highly recommend you get those In Colors. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to cut those out. I'm going to get my little mini over here, my little mini cutter. And let's find my dies. This is the set we're using, and so many things that I'm going to use from this set today and tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow we'll be working with this set as well. with the scrap card. I'm going to do a card made entirely from leftover bits and pieces, which I love to do. It's kind of like quilting, right? You want to use your leftovers, and so, and these are the dies that go with this set, and they're absolutely gorgeous. One's hiding down there. They're great dies. We're going to use a few of these today, but right now I'm going to pull off this great leaf one, and I'm just gonna. This is going to require some washi tape because I'm going to be lucky to get both leaves out of. Oh, I moved my mouse again. Let's put that out of the way so I can't move it anymore. All right, so let's get our bits in here. And I've got a piece here that I believe is just exactly the right size to get both my leaves out of. Let's hope, let's hope. I mean, it's not like there's any shortage of paper. I can get some more if I need to, but wouldn't it be nice if I could use this up? A little bit of washi tape. Pop that down there. And away we go. So I'm going to cut 2 of these. I just really like the look of them behind that teacup there. So there's one. And let's cut another one. I hope I was able to manage to, yeah, I am, just barely. Oh my God, that's tight. Okay, I just barely got a second one out of that little scrap. I love it when that happens. How do you buy stamps from me? Well, Lori, I am all over YouTube, all over Facebook, and all over Instagram. Now, if you're on my Facebook page, that means that you have found me on Facebook. And there's a couple of things you can do. One of them is you can contact me. And if you need a catalog, there's a brand new catalog that just came out, Lori, and another mini catalog. Do get excited about this because this is where there's Christmas stuff. A new mini catalog that will be coming out soon. And so what you would do is I would send you the catalog, and you can pick and choose from there. And then when you go online, you can go onto my online store and you can shop to your heart's content. And I can help you through that. I can help you do that. Sometimes it's nice to do your initial shop in person, like you and me together, so that you're able to get the best bang for your buck. Okay, so I have my 2 leaves. Next we want to have a cup. Now, I think on this cup, I think I'm going to use green because I like the idea of the green. And I think I'm going to use, no, I can't use green because I just did green for the leaves. What else should I do? What else should I do? Should I do turquoise? No, there's no turquoise on my card. Let's see what else I can come up with. Let's see. I just can't see myself. Yes, please do that, and I'll send you some. I'll send you catalogs and some goodies because I like to send goodies. It's always good to send goodies. So I'm going to do the same color cut, but I'm going to change up the paper a little bit. In color, I've got this beautiful. You know, I'm supposed to know all these colors. I'm just not very good at memorizing things. This is called Sweet Sorbet. Sweet Sorbet. That's what we're going to do our cup out of. All right, so let's get our cup die out. Now I'm going to show you something fun that you can do with the cups. Let me just get that out. I'm just going to quickly whack off a piece of paper here. Lori, I'm on live almost every day at 4 o'clock. It just depends on the weekends with it being sunny and beautiful up here. Sometimes the days get hectic. So when I can be on at 4, I am, and I always put a post up in the morning to say I will be on at 4 o'clock today, and then another reminder at 3:30 that I will be on in half an hour. Tuesday evenings at 7 o'clock, I am always on, barring a natural disaster or catastrophe. Tuesdays at 7 o'clock, I'm always on, so I will be on tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. You can catch all my videos here on replay. You can also catch them on YouTube, and I've got lots of stuff going on Instagram as well. Because you know me, Lori, I'm not going to sit around at home and do nothing. It's just not in the cards for me. So I'm just at that stage in life where I'm really enjoying that I can do things from home. I'm still doing a little sewing. I just got a job today for a lady. So I'm still doing some sewing as well. Now I have to find my card. Okay, so what we're going to do, here it is. So what I've done here for the next portion of our cup of tea, we want to do this lovely die right here, which is going to give us this detail on our cup of tea. Now, things that are really tiny and persnickety like that, they're hard to glue down. So what I do is I take a piece of this material. This is a Sizzix product, but we also sell it at Stampin' Up. And I believe it's a little less money at Stampin' Up as well. So they're called adhesive sheets. Right now, Kim, I have a lady who bought some drapes that go around her outdoor gazebo, and they're the kind that have the loops on the top, so the curtain rods go through the loops. However, apparently on their gazebo, the curtain rods do not come down, so there's no way to get them up onto the curtain rods. So what I'm doing for her is I am opening up the loops and making them openable, for lack of a better word, and putting Velcro on them so that she's able to put them up there. Nothing very exciting. Sizzix this is a really neat product for if you're doing really fine detailed things, and you can use it with your DSP, you can use it with any cardstock, you can use it with anything at all. And I'm going to show you how it works. All you do is this. This piece is already prepared, but I'm going to show you how it works. All you're going to do is this. Here's my piece of cardstock. It could be anything. It could be DSP. It could be anything. You just peel and stick this stuff off. There's the part that has the writing on it. You're just going to peel that off, okay? Flip it over and stick it down. Okay, so now that I know I have this piece here with the stick-em on it, I'm going to keep it away from my other cardstock so that I don't accidentally use it for something I don't need that stick-em for, because it would be wasted, right? It would be wasted if I just used it for regular cardstock. So I'm going to trim off the piece that I put the stick-em on and put this piece aside here. Now I'm going to take my fancy teacup. Now, don't make the mistake that I often make. I don't know why it doesn't sit in my brain. It's not quite committed to my brain yet. I have a tendency to put this on the side that I put the sticky paper on. That's wrong. You're going to put it on the side where you can't see the stick-em that I just put on, okay? So I'm just going to cut that so that it's easier to work through the machine. And again, we'll take out our little guy here. I love this little guy. We're going to take out our little guy. Now, sometimes I find it difficult for the die cut to cut all the way through the paper and the stick-em. So what I generally do is I just have a scrap of paper here, and you can see I've used it before. I've just got a scrap of paper here, and I'm just going to put it underneath to give it like an extra, like a shim, right? Like a little bit of a shim. Give it a little bit of extra height in the hopes that it will cut a little bit better, and it does. It does cut better. All right, I'm going to run that through a couple, 3 times just to be sure. This mini is my best friend, I'll tell you. It's just the greatest. All right. Okay. So now that I've done that, I've got my teacup. Okay, got my little teacup. That I can discard now because it's got too many dents in it. Now, before you worry about trying to get the bits out, I'll show you something that is rather clever. So a lot of these little bits, you're going to take your pick tool and you're going to pop the little pieces out. But what I found, now watch it not work because I'm on camera, but what I found is if I get a hold of the sticky, if I separate the sticky, and I pull it apart, oh, except for one piece, the little bits come off with it, okay? So you're not having to pick. Lori worked at Castles, Kim, so you've met her before. She usually worked Saturdays. So you've crossed paths for sure. So now this is nice and stuck for you, so you don't have to put little increments of glue on it. And you're just going to do the best job you can of popping it onto your teacup. And then give it a good press. It takes a second for that to adhere itself to your teacup. So there you go. You have my teacup. Just going to set that aside. Going to set my leaves aside as well. And this time, for this one, I think I'd like to do a lemon wedge. So let's get our lemon wedge things. Okay. So I've got a little bit of the yellow cardstock. And I just need a tiny piece. This will do it. The same thing. This is a piece that I have this Sizzix on, okay? This adhesive sheet. That's okay, Lori. You do whatever floats your boat. I have days like that too. Well, actually, most days when I'm sewing, I have all kinds of card making videos on that I'm watching. So no worries. You do you. So I'm going to start with the inside of our lemon. We're going to do actually, I can probably do them both at the same time. So I'm going to make a little lemon wedge here. So let's just get this ready on my mini machine. One there. And this is the inside of my lemon. So I'm using Daffodil Delight, which is a nice bright yellow. A nice bright yellow for the inside of my lemon. And I am going to take that as well, because things do have a tendency to move on me. There. So let's bring this over again. And there you go, double bubble. Doing both at the same time. Now you'll notice I didn't put another piece of paper underneath the lemon. The lemon, for some reason, it's because it's smaller, I think, that it just seems to cut beautifully every time. So I'm not concerned with having to add that little shim. Now be sure you keep your pieces that have your adhesive sheet on them. Be sure and keep them separate, right? So you know where they are and you can easily grab one when you need to create something like this. So got my So there's my little lemon wedge. And don't throw out any little pieces of that cardstock with the... I'm using the bottom is number 3, and I'm using 2 2s. Not the way it's intended to be, but over time I've just found it more effective. Entirely up to you, Kim. You are actually supposed to use 1 and 2 2s, but I'm just doing it my way. So keep these little bits of this stuff that has adhesive on. They are going to come in handy. I mean, look how small a piece it took me to do the lemon. So we've got our little lemon wedge here. And I'm just going to... All these dies have little tiny holes in them, right? So you can take your pick tool in there and pop your die out. It makes life really easy. Let's put these back where they belong before I lose them. And then my lemon wedge. And my cup. I'm trying to work tidier. I don't know how successful I'm going to be at it. It's just not my thing. But I'm trying. I'm trying. Okay, so there we have it. All right. So let's make my lemon wedge. Again, when I go to peel off my stickum, if I can pull off my stickum, the little bits, for the most part, come off with it, okay? There you go. How cute is that, right? A little lemon wedge. Okay. So let's start building this card and then we'll decide what we want to do. One of the things I'm going to be really happy about, and maybe bear this in mind, it bothers me when I look at this card that the top flap of the envelope blends into my page because I didn't do enough of a contrast. Okay? And I'm going to take, this little thing has a 1/2 inch marker and a 1/4 inch marker. And I am going to take the 1/4 inch marker if I can still do it at this point. There, just take that off. Okay, so now I'm just going to use some dimensionals because we do want to pop things up, right? I'm going to use some dimensionals. And I'm going to use 2 on each. I'm just going to tuck that one sort of like that on a jaunty angle. Now this one, you got to be aware of where you're putting it so that you're not dimensionalizing it in the wrong place. So this one I'm going to have to put a dimensional on this side and maybe a spot of glue on this side, okay, just to stick it to the yeah, I like that. All right, so same here. You're going to be careful where you put your glue and your dimensionals for your cup because you don't have the room to put too many dimensionals on there because it's going to run into your leaves. So I'm going to put a dimensional here and here, okay, and then I'm going to put glue on the other side to adhere it to my leaves. Yeah, you do have to sometimes, Kim. Otherwise, if you put dimensionals here, if you put dimensionals all over this and then they're sitting on top of dimensionals, your cup's going to take on a bit of a crooked situation, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to give it a little glue there. So it's a little bit glued onto the leaf and a little bit oh, and guess what? I did exactly what I said not to, so we're going to do that again. I did my, I cut my white part of my lemon on the wrong side of the piece that I have stuck my adhesive sheet to. It's on the wrong side. So we're just going to do that again. Just a little bit there, and we can do these together again. I told you I managed to do that quite a bit, and I'm not sure why. It's like I'm trying so hard not to do it that I do it, if that makes any sense to anybody. All right, so let's just pop those through again, and we'll get them right this time, huh? It's not that it made that big a difference, and you probably can't see it on camera, but what happens is my lemon, the white part of my lemon loses its rounded sort of feel. It's very, it just isn't right. You can tell by looking at it, it's just not right. So if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right, so I'm doing it again. I do a lot of stuff again. Okay. Mucho's better. All right, let's get that out of the way. pop this in here. And let's get our lemon wedge back together. It's a little tricky. Do whatever works best for you. Sometimes I have to hold it up in my hand, and other times I have to lean over it. But whatever works. There, that's cute, right? Little lemon wedge. So the lemon wedge, I think, is just going to have some glue on it. And in fact, because I know where I'm going to put it, I'm going to put the glue on my leaf so that I can put the wedge on it. There's a little spot of glue on my leaf. There's my lemon wedge. And then we're going to make, not done yet, I've got more work to do. We're going to make a tea bag, because if you're going to have tea, you're going to need some tea bags, aside from the one that got there. So I've got a lovely little tea bag here, and I've got a lovely little stamp that says "Time for Tea," which is absolutely perfect for that little card. Time for tea is just what we need. So we're going to take a little scrap of, this is crumb cake, and we're going to use a little bit of soft suede ink, and I'm going to make 2 tea bags because these are going to be like a 3-dimensional deal. One. Do you remember the Dracula on Sesame Street, and he'd go 1. My husband does that whenever he counts anything. It's both hilariously funny and super annoying. 1. It's crazy. Just do 4 1/4, Kim. It fits every. I don't have the math that way in my head. I tried several sizes and I just kept going down. Yes, you did. I'm sure you did know it was crumb cake. I tried several sizes and I just kept going down 1/4 inch at a time if I felt that the envelope was too loose. But 4 1/4 is perfect for your tea bag. And also the other thing you have to keep in mind, that if you're putting it on a card like this, I think to me, there's a general rule of thumb about how much outside should show. So if I made this any bigger, not enough of my beautiful DSP would show, and I want that DSP to be showing. That's the whole point, right? So I just used 4 1/4 inch square. And I'm just doing 2 little time for teas. It's time for tea. No, it's not time for tea. It's time for root beer soda. Yeah, eventually you'll know all your colors by heart. I still don't. Well, I do know most of them. It's just the new in colors. Just because of the way things are with me lately, it takes me a little longer to memorize new things, new colors and stuff. But I get them. Eventually I'll get them. Just takes a bit. Okay, so let's clean those off while they're still wet. Keep them nice and clean. Now, we have a die cut for the tea bags. We have 2, actually. There's 2 die cuts for the tea bags. I've only ever used this one, which is the size for that. But there's also 2 little tiny ones here, too. So you could make little teeny tiny ones as well. And we do have a few things to say in them, like the little tiny ones you could use as a to and a from. And with this size, you've got all of these little tiny sentiments fit inside them. So there's "I miss you," "I just can't thank you enough," to and from, and "It's time for tea," which is the one I use the most, because if I'm making a tea card and giving a tea bag, obviously it's time for tea. So let's give these a little snip up. And we'll bring this little guy back. And a little bit of washi tape. when there's two, you can cut two at a time, but this larger die cut, there's only the one, so you do need to cut these one at a time, which is fine. Crumb cake just seems to be the perfect color for tea bags. I don't know. So there we have one tea bag. And we're going to make another one because our tea bag's going to be a little bit 3D on our card. All right. There. So now I've got two of them. So let's just put these back while I'm working here because like I said, I am trying to work a little tidier. I actually think I'm doing it. I actually think I am working a little tidier. Hard to say for sure. But so far I haven't lost anything major. Now I shouldn't have said that out loud, but so far so good, right? Kim, did you get your envelope maker yet that you ordered? Or did you order one? I thought you ordered one. Oh, my husband's making some kind of pot roast or something like that, I think. When you get your envelope maker, I want to show you how to make those little Herrera Rocher boxes because they're so cute. And of course, also how to make any size envelope that you want. That's the beauty of an envelope maker. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up! Doesn't do them anymore, but doesn't mean I can't show you how to use one. Okay, so now let's get our little tea bag, and I'm going to take a little bit of linen. How does this tie itself in a knot like that? I don't know. That's just crazy to me. In several knots. What is up with that? Well, actually, that's a really good bow. Maybe I can use that. Maybe I can use that bow. Ooh, I might be able to use this little piece of stuff that I've got going on here. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to give it a go. Trying to decide if I can do this or not. I think maybe not, so that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a piece here. Now this is just my linen twine, and I'm just going to pinch it down here because what I want to do is I'm going to take a glue dot. I'm going to flip my tea bags over. And with my take your pick tool, I'm going to grab a little glue dot here. And I'm going to put it at the top of one of my tea bags. And then when you peel off the little white sticker, you've got just a perfectly little round bit of glue. And that's what I'm after. Just a perfectly round little bit of glue. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to take a little bit of glue. Just like that. I'm going to stick the other piece, the other tea bag on top of that. And I'm just going to pick it up in my hand so that I can manipulate it to be square. And I'm just going to hold it for a second so that it'll glue down really nicely. And then I'm going to open up my envelope a little bit. You can open up your envelope a little bit and drop that down in there. And what I want to do, I just want to see if I can get a glue dot in there because I want that to hang down like that, but I also need it to be attached. Okay. Let's see what I can do. Okay. What I did was, and maybe you could do this in advance. Maybe it'd be a good idea to do that in advance. When you go to put your teacup on, okay? Oh, you're doing pot roast too? When you go to put your teacup on, you're putting dimensionals down behind your teacup. Remember, I've got 2 dimensionals here and here behind my teacup, okay? Attach this first. I did it the hard way, I attached it second, but attach this first. You've got your tea bag that's double-sided, so if it flips around, it doesn't matter. It says the same thing on both sides. And this should be attached to your little dimensional behind your teacup. And then you put your teacup down. I just completely forgot about the plot. So there, cute, right? So now my tea bag, it's 3-dimensional there, which I'm really, really liking. So now I can put my tea bag in. Okay, how cute is that? I really love it. I really, really do. You got your 3-dimensional little tea bag. Can you see it flopping around there? Yeah, just remember, tea bag before you put the cup down so that your tea bag can stick to the dimensional that's behind there, all right? Mine is stuck to it, but it should have been stuck to it before. It would have been a lot easier. It's stuck to it, but it's easier if you do it in advance and you got your thing. Okay, so next we want to do something inside, right? So we're going to get ourselves a piece of, let's see, I think, what should I use? What should I use? My order's supposed to arrive today. I'm hoping it does arrive today. However, I've noticed of late that when my order says it's coming on Monday, it actually comes on Tuesday. So I'm looking for, and I seem to have misplaced them. So there you go. That was very, oh, here they are, maybe. Nope, nope, nope. I need a piece for my inside. So I guess what I'll do is I will use the Stitch with Whimsy because those work too, right? So I'm just going to grab a Stitched with Whimsy. This is really, really cute. I love Stitched with Whimsy. They're not die cuts. They don't cut out these rectangular shapes. You cut the rectangular shape and then they cut, or they give detail to the rectangular shape, okay? So I'm going to do this first. Can I get this through the little guy? By golly, I can. So I'm going to do that first. First I'm going to make my design. I love Stitched with Whimsy. I just think it's so cute. So let's get some ink. Let's get some, what should I use? What should I use? Let's do the Orchid Oasis. We're going to get some ink. We're going to get some paper to make a mess on, because I do love to make a mess. And we're going to get... What should we do? Should we do a cup of tea inside? Let's do a cup of tea inside. Now let's stick with the greenery that we did before, the leaves that we did before, because they were cute. Put a border around the vanilla paper? Well, that's what I'm doing. That's kind of what I'm doing. This is basic white. We're not using vanilla because the background of the DSP is basic white. So we're doing basic white. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this in my stamping block. And I'm just going to give this a little ink. And I'm going to stamp off, okay? All right, so there's that. I'm going to do it again and stamp off, okay? You want to stamp off, otherwise it's too strong. There we go. I think that's really pretty. And then we'll just take this and we'll need some washi tape. And I'm actually just going to put it right about like, I need to have room to trim it down after, remember, because this isn't a die cut. This is just a detail sort of a die. All right, so let's run this through, see what we get and what we can do with it. Oh yes, you can do whatever you like. You can do as many layers as you want. You know, some cards have like 4 and 5 different layers. The tiny bit of show this has now is the blue, but you could also do, more than one layer. You know, some cards have as many as 5 layers. Just depends on how you feel about it and what you want to do. You can do anything you want to do. Ooh. That popped right out of there all by itself. How's about that? Let's clean this off. It's got blue ink on it. It's the blue and the red inks that are going to stain your these clear dyes. Okay, I can't say that word, but and that's normal. So don't get upset about that. That's perfectly normal. They are going to discolor from use because both your blue and your reds and oranges and stuff, they have pigment in them that are going to come off onto the plastic. There's not a darn thing you can do about it. So go with the flow, baby. All right. Okay, I got to run it through again. I'm going to run it through the big one because it didn't do the bottom portion. Probably because that plate popped out, right? Okay, let's have a look at this one. Let's see if it's any... Oh, much better. Okay, so again, this is not a die cut. This is strictly a decoration, okay? See how cute that is? So now I can go in with my cutter and I can trim it out the way I want it to be trimmed out, okay? And we'll just give it a little bit down here. Oh, that's very pretty. There, you see? So it's just got a nice little bit of accent there, which I can then take and put inside my card, because we want to be able to have a writing space on there. It's not a happy writing space if it's cardstock because it's hard to see your writing. Although people do it, I'm just not a fan. There we go. Look at how pretty that looks up against this cardstock with those stamps in the bottom corner. They look so nice. Pretty? Oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So there you have it. 2 stamps, or 2 cards, both made with the same set, basic same materials, just a little slight variation between the 2. This one opens up this way. This one opens up this way. Okay. So I'm hoping my order arrives tomorrow. If it arrives in the morning, I'm going to go online just for a show and share. I'm not going to do anything, but I will pop on and do an unboxing, and you'll get a notification of that. Lori, thank you, Lori. Lori, you should, if you want to follow me, same with on YouTube. I'm Stampin' with Casey on YouTube, Instagram, and here. So if you want to find me on Instagram, choose I somehow managed to get two Instagram channels, Lori. So if you're looking for me, or 2 YouTube channels. So if you're looking for me on YouTube, choose the one that has a whole bunch of followers, because the other one, there's nothing on it. It's just a mistake that I can't seem to undo yet. So, but if you like and follow me, then you'll get notification of everything that I'm doing, and then you'll get the notification to know that I'm going to pop on impromptu, which I sometimes do. Sometimes I just have nothing else to do, and I'll pop on and do something fun. So I'm so glad you were here, Lori. It's so nice to see you. I really have missed you, and I'm able to be in contact with both Karen and Donna too, which is so much fun for me, because I really miss them. They were so much fun for me to work with. So were you. So anyways, okay, so hunt me down on YouTube, Instagram, and I will be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. If not before, for an unboxing. I will post if I'm going to be on for the unboxing. So I hope you enjoyed this fun little romp through tea time. And I'll see you tomorrow for what to do with your little bits. We're going to have a scrappy time tomorrow and play with little bits of things and show you some exciting stuff that you can do with your little bits. So don't throw anything out. Don't throw anything out. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Oh, thank you, Lori. Me too. Me too. I'm learning. I'm still learning the whole YouTube and Facebook thing, but I learn a little bit more every day, and I get some help from some good Stampin' friends, and it's good to be busy. I'll tell you what, it's good to be busy. When you're retired, the last thing you want to do is hit the couch and watch TV, so which I'm not doing. So I hope to see you again, Lori. Kimmy, I'll see you next time, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Bye for now.